February, the cast of the Bellevue West 2026 musical, The Sound of Music, went to the Samuel Bak Museum at the Learning Center. The museum opened in February of 2023 and works to educate the public on the history of the Holocaust, human rights, and genocide through the exhibition of the art of Samuel Bak, a Holocaust survivor who paints to educate.
My name's Ashley Andrews. I'm Elsa.
My name's Jade Tarvin. My name's Franz in the play.
My name is Amelia and I'm actually a stage manager.
How has this experience changed your overall view on the musical?
I think it's really important to have a good knowledge and a good background about what's taking place, and especially the beginning and all the nuns, and like Samuel Bak was helped by the nuns as well. I think it's really important to know more about the story.
I think I understand like the heaviness of it a little bit better. I have already heard some insensitive jokes and I think I'm just gonna manage them a lot better and help the actors understand how heavy their character is, regardless of if it's a big role or a small role.
It's a great opportunity to learn more about it before we head to opening night.
How do you feel you'll apply what you learned today to your character?
My person that I play, her views are kind of in favor of the Nazis.
My character's not a very good person.
I feel like I have a better understanding of how to go about the role, how to say my lines and the way I say them, and how to go about the songs, and just a better approach overall of her character and her thoughts.
I want to be my character, but at the same time, I don't want to feel the way that my character feels. So just having that disconnect in my brain of, yes, I am playing this character, but at the same time, I'm not going to have any actions or act like this character outside of the play.
Why do you think it's important to talk about the history behind World War II, the Nazis, and Sam Bak?
This part of history was kind of the big area where everyone kind of avoids, but at the same time it needs to be talked about because there's chances that it could happen again. And that's always scary hearing because obviously we didn't go through that time, but there's a possibility we could in the future.
Well, specifically because we are doing Sound of Music, the actors don't quite understand the weight of what they're doing and the story they're putting on. And while yes, the Sound of Music itself is a very fun show, there are the aspects of the Holocaust is going on during this time period, and it is mentioned a time or two. And I think it's important for them to understand how heavy of a situation it is that we're working around.
My name is Jennifer Ettinger. I am the theater teacher and director.
Why do you think it's important to bring students to this museum specifically for the Sound of Music?
I think it's really easy with The Sound of Music to be like, this is a silly, fun play, and to forget kind of the core message of the story about a real family who lived through World War II.
Why do you think it's so important that we continue to talk about and educate people on the Holocaust?
I think when we look back, it's really easy for us to say, you know, obviously the Nazis were evil and everybody who was fighting against them were the good guys. But during that time period, it was not so black and white. And there were a lot of people who were making decisions based on what they thought was right. And horrible atrocities were happening to the Jewish population and others. But I think when you're living in similar moments today, it's harder to see the black and white of what is good and evil. And if we don't continue to study history like this, then we can't learn from it and we can't start to stand up on the right side of history for our children, for our grandchildren, for everyone who comes after us.
Does being here at this museum and learning more about the events, especially learning from a Holocaust survivor, will that affect how you are directing The Sound of Music?
Definitely, and I'm hoping it affects the way that they are treating the material as well, that it becomes grounded in more reality. A lot of times musicals are such heightened reality that we can see it as totally removed from our real lives. I hope that this experience for me and for the students can ground it in reality, ground it in the pain and suffering that people went through, but then also the hope. What I love about all of Samuel Bak's paintings is that so many of them include imagery of hope, or even the word hope, even through suffering, even through devastation, that hope still lives on. And I think that's what musicals can do, and that's what theater can do, is create hope even in times of suffering.
The Samuel Bak Museum is open Wednesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., with the exception of Thursdays being open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sundays from noon to 4 p.m. Monday and Tuesday are closed to allow students in both K-12 schools and college programs to attend and learn about the art and the history behind it. The Sound of Music premieres on Thursday, March 5th at 4 p.m. at the new Thunderbird Performing Arts Center at Bellevue West High School. On the Friday and Saturday following at 7 p.m., there will be 2 other performances.